In this lesson, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most exciting and critical aspects of product development, creating your prototype. This stage is where your concept transforms from an idea into a tangible, functional product that you can hold in your hands and share with the rest of the world. But creating a prototype isn't just about the thrill of seeing your vision come to life, it's also a critical step in validating your product's design, gathering feedback, and refining your product before committing to large-scale manufacturing. This is critical to do before marketing your product to the masses, as you have to be sure of the quality of the product, price, and the supplier selected so that there aren't any bumps in the road after you launch your campaign. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create a product specification sheet, the 3 stages of prototyping, and the 5 key tips for prototype development. The first step to prototyping is to create a product specification sheet. Some may also refer to it as a tech pack, but a spec sheet is the most common term. Your spec sheet includes details about the materials, dimensions, sketches, real-life images, colors, packaging, testing certification, and any custom features or branding elements you want for your product. This is a critical and often overlooked step in the prototyping process and ensures you communicate your vision clearly to your manufacturer and ensures you have done the research to know exactly what type of product you want to bring to market rather than figuring it out as you go along. For example, let's take a look at a spec sheet for a tactical backpack that I helped create. You can see we included rough sketches with dimensions, materials, and features clearly labeled. This gave the supplier a solid understanding of our product vision and detailed requirements before pricing it up. By providing this level of detail, our supplier knew exactly what we needed and could quote us accurately. Simply put, the more specific you can be in your spec sheet, the better. If you're unsure of the exact materials and specifications you want to include on your spec sheet, one practical tip is to deconstruct a competitor's product to see everything it's made of. This can be done by purchasing their product online and analyzing it in order to decide how you want to improve it. Or you can also go online and read all the information on all your competitors' websites, reading the materials, features, positive and negative customer reviews to understand more on how you want to improve the product. It's important to solve the issues that customers are complaining about in the negative reviews. That way you know you're solving a pain point that already exists, as well as reading the positive reviews to see what the market already likes about the product to ensure you have also incorporated that in your product too. If you want to go even further, I'd recommend visiting a factory to really see how the manufacturing process works. For example, when I visited the backpack factory, I saw the product was actually made of 30 different pieces, a level of detail I wouldn't have grasped from just looking at the final product. I got to see the shoulder straps, the foam that goes in the shoulder straps, the webbing, the buckles, the zippers, the pullers, the inside lining, the waterproof coating, as well as getting to see how it's all assembled together. By understanding your product inside out, you'll be better equipped and better informed about decisions on design, materials, and manufacturing. Remember, the spec sheet is a totally organic document that doesn't need to be templated. It just needs to provide key product information, which is custom to your product, but I've created a checklist for you guys, which you can take off to make sure that you have incorporated the most important parts on your spec sheet. Remember, this is a doc that you can constantly update. As you get feedback from suppliers, you can just revise it, refine it, PDF it, and then send it out again. Next, let's talk about the 3 stages of prototyping, which can also be described as sampling your product. Here are the 3 key stages of prototyping. 1, your development sample. 2, your pre-production sample. And 3, your pre-shipment sample. Think of the development sample as your first physical prototype. Its purpose is to test and refine your design. It's not going to be 100% perfect the first time, but this serves as your initial prototype, which you'll be developing on top of until you get something you're totally happy with. At this stage, you'll identify any issues with your product design and work with your manufacturer to fix them until you have a sample in your hand that you are 100% happy with. At this stage, you can then start to plan your campaign, knowing what your product setup costs will be, the cost of the product, the lead time, and the capabilities of your factory. Don't be afraid to ask questions or request changes. Your manufacturer should be working with you to create the best possible product. Creating a winning product not only helps you, but it helps them as well. Once you're happy with the development sample, that's your product development complete, and you can now start to plan your campaign. And once your campaign is complete, then you move on to the pre-production sample when you're ready to place your order. This is a more finalized version of your prototype made with the exact same materials and manufacturing processes that will be used on your final product that you'll be delivering to your backers. This sample is critical for ensuring quality and functionality before mass production begins. You should have a pre-production sample in your hand when you're ready to place your purchase order and pay a deposit to your factory to start manufacturing. And for the last stage is the pre-shipment sample. This is your product pulled from your actual production after your mass production has completed and sent to you for final checking before your goods are shipped out. This is your last chance to catch any quality issues and ensure that the finished product meets your standards before you send it out to all your backers. Throughout the sampling process, clear communication with your manufacturer is key. Remember to provide a detailed feedback on each sample iteration, highlighting what works and what needs improvement. To speed this process up, I would recommend getting on a Zoom call with your manufacturer, or even better, going to visit them in person. It's also important to consider who will bear the cost of each sample round. In general, the development sample is paid for by the buyer, that's you, while the pre-production and pre-shipment samples are typically covered by the manufacturer. If I do cover the cost of the samples and then place a mass production order to the supplier, I would always state that I'll pay for the samples, but this cost will be deducted from the purchase order once we confirm production with the supplier. So if we don't end up placing an order, then I've covered the cost of the samples, but once we do business, then the supplier has covered the cost of the samples. All right, now you understand the 3 stages of prototyping. Next, we can move on to understanding the 5 tips to creating the perfect prototype. Number 1, work closely with your manufacturer. Too many creators develop their prototypes without input from their manufacturer. Then when they go to manufacture, they learn the design is flawed. Your manufacturer should be your partner in the prototyping process, offering expertise and guidance to help bring your vision to life. Maintain open lines of communication and collaborate closely to troubleshoot any issues that arise. Number 2, do not launch your campaign until you have a sample in your hand that you're 100% happy with. That way, you can launch with confidence that you can deliver a high quality product to your backers, as well as use that sample in your marketing material, which is proof that you can deliver this product. Number 3, test, test, test. Put your prototype through its paces to identify any weaknesses or areas for improvement. Consider recruiting beta testers or focus groups to get objective feedback and real-world insights. Number 4, iterate based on feedback. Use the insights gathered from testing to refine your design and create an even stronger prototype. This process of continuous improvement is key to creating a product that truly meets your customers' needs. Number 5, don't rush the process. As tempting as it may be to get to launch as quickly as possible, taking the time to get your prototype right will pay off in the long run. Remember, a delayed launch is always better than a failed one. Now, before we wrap up, I want to emphasize just how critical it is to have a fully functional, high-quality prototype before launching your Kickstarter campaign. Too many creators make the mistake of rushing it to market with a subpar prototype, only to face delays, disappointment, and angry backers down the line. Your prototype is proof of concept. It shows that your idea can be brought to life and you've done your due diligence in refining the design and functionality. Now, I know this is a lot of information. So to help you on your prototyping journey, I've put together a handy prototyping checklist that outlines all the key steps and considerations for creating a winning prototype. I've included a link to it below this lesson. Be sure to download it and keep it on hand as you navigate the exciting and occasionally challenging world of prototyping. All right, that wraps up this lesson on creating your prototype. It may feel intimidating at first, but trust me, the sense of pride and accomplishment you'll feel when you hold your first fully functional prototype in your hands is truly unbeatable. Not to mention, you can launch with confidence knowing the true costs and timelines to manufacture your product at scale. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and start bringing your product vision to life. Remember, the world is waiting for your innovative ideas. It's up to you to make them a reality. We'll see you in the next lesson.